Bridget Corns. Thank you for joining me as we explore yet another avenue on the path of the seeker. This week I want to talk about meditation. Why should we meditate? Well, Edgar Cayce, the famous psychic and one of my heroes, said, "Meditation is listening to the divine within." If you're not interested in hearing the divine, then Sakyong Mipham explains what is really happening in meditation is we are learning to think when we want to, and not to think when we don't want to. Most people think of Buddha as sitting for hours in the lotus position when it comes to meditation. But it's not that rigid of an idea, and doesn't necessarily have to take that form. When I meditate, I may be putting together a puzzle. My favorite time to meditate is while I'm preparing dinner. Writing is a wonderful way of meditation on a subject, and you'll find many meditations on different subjects in my blog. I'm going to share with you the simple, powerful technique I use to meditate while doing activities. First, let me explain the benefits. Meditation is simply placing your mind on a subject to become familiar with it. We are becoming familiar with how our mind behaves and its habits. This can also be referred to as mindfulness. With enough practice, all of your racing thoughts will stop. Before I started meditating, I would sit down and I would be overwhelmed with thoughts. One moment, I would be thinking of taking a vacation and going to Yosemite. The next moment, I might go over all the tasks that need to be done in the day. Sometimes, I would be overcome by an extreme form of fear to the point where I didn't even want to get out of bed. When our thoughts are wild, we are slaves of our mind. No form of medication can quiet the mind for us. Meditation helps us calm the mind. In that state of quiet, you can start seeing things as they really are, and in more detail instead of peering through the keyhole at the world around you. You are truly present in the current moment, or what some refer to as the now. Until you reach that state of peacefulness and tranquility, however, you'll have to practice. Some need a lot of practice, and this technique will seem downright alien to them. For some, it will come naturally. Each will have their own unique experience on this part of the path. Here is a simple, powerful technique I've used that has helped me tremendously. This is based on the practice described by Sakyong Mipham in his book Turning the Mind into an Alley. You can practice this with whatever task you prefer. Take, for example, the task of cutting zucchini for dinner. This is a wonderful opportunity to meditate. As I cut this zucchini, if a thought intrudes that is not about the task, I label it thinking and let it go. Then I resume the task at hand. Sometimes I would start daydreaming without realizing it, but as soon as that happens, I'd label it thinking, let it go, and return to the task. You can do this during almost any familiar task. When you practice doing this, it will become reflexive. Think of it this way. When you were a toddler, that first step was a struggle. Now that you're an adult, walking is something you do without thinking. Don't get frustrated if you get interrupted a lot by thoughts when focusing on cutting up that zucchini when you first start. Even the greatest meditation masters struggled at first. They got up, they walked away from their seat, but the only difference between them and everyone else is they returned to their seat. In meditation, you're training your mind to behave. You're teaching it to focus on the present moment. Remember, this task can be practiced at any time. Putting together a puzzle, cooking, dinner, going for a walk, running, weightlifting, drawing, or writing. Anything in life can become a meditation. The options are limitless. Meditation is not complicated. This does not require a dedicated practice of staying still for 15 minutes. Yes, you can graduate from this simple mindfulness practice to that, but it's not necessary. For now, this one practice might nearly drive you up the wall in frustration, because thoughts will intrude so often. Be gentle and kind with yourself. I've practiced this for several years now, and I was surprised when I realized my mind had become silent. At one point in my life, I was diagnosed with PTSD and had severe anxiety. I was told by one psychiatrist I would be medicated the rest of my life. This meditation practice helped me let go of all those intrusive, fearful thoughts, and I simply don't have them anymore. This August, it will be a year since I last took medication for anxiety. I've been tested with extremely traumatic events, including being taken to the hospital for heavy bleeding in an ambulance. I did not experience a panic attack. I was able to meditate and let go of all those fears in the moment. Now, instead of experiencing those intrusive thoughts, I can walk peacefully, noticing the trees, butterflies, or planets hanging upon the horizon in the night sky. I feel a lot more relaxed. There is so much we miss when chasing our thoughts. This technique is how I learned to release them and enjoy the silence, so I can now be joyfully present in the moment. Here's two more of my favorite quotes about meditation. Meditation takes us just as we are, with our confusion and our sanity. This complete acceptance of ourselves as we are is a simple, direct relationship with our being. Learn to be quiet, for His voice is heard in stillness. It comes to all those who stand aside in quiet listening. If you like this video, please share it with your friends and subscribe below.